Good morning, folks. This is old Tumbleweed. Here we are. Showtown, USA, Gibsonton, Florida, right down here. Those of you who've seen my last couple of videos, the last one I told you, I'll tell you how I got to Florida. And it's quite a story, really. I think the last video I made, I kind of told you that this man showed up in the yard. Old pickup. I had a little sister. I want to say hello to her. She's up in Wisconsin. Her name was Layla, and she's born 48, so that makes her about 3-4 years younger than me. I was 9 years old, and she was, what, 6 or so. And this man shows up in the yard there, and he tells my mother, he says, I'm going to be your daddy. I'm going to be your new daddy. So we jump in this old pickup. In the back, you can imagine how much room was in the back of a 48 Ford pickup. There wasn't much. There was canvas bags in there. There was suitcases in there. So you know how much room. We also had a dog named Duke. That's right, big old Labrador. Name was Duke. And so we piled in the back of that truck and we took off. We left everything we had. We left all of our toys and our clothes. And we went on the circus. Yeah. Now, I want to call him Tony, or my stepfather. He had been on the Ringling show for several years. And he was a tumbler and a clown. So, I'm not sure what year it was, 48, 47, something like that. They had that fire in Connecticut where the Ringling show caught a fire and tent burned up, and he was on stage and he jumped off the stage to get out of the fire and he hurt his back. So he used to tumble. He was a tumbler. So anyway, he went around the country, working on different shows after that. But the reason he left the Ringling show was he was a tent man. In other words, he was a real circus man. And about 54 or 53, something like that, the Ringling Brothers Circus got rid of all the canvas. And they went into the Coliseums. Now, the Ringling show was a railroad show, and everybody got on the train and they went from town to town on the railroad. But anyway, so his back hurt him awful bad, and he really couldn't tumble anymore. So he had the smart idea to find a woman with a couple of kids, and he wanted a family act. So that's what he did. Excuse me. And through this Lonely Hearts Club, letters writing back and forth, man, he was good looking. Italian, dressed in a suit, pulled up in the yard, and we took off. Back in this old truck. Me, my sister, and old Duke. Well, we went around a few circuses, and he made me a clown. I was Corky the Clown. My sister was a clown. My mother was a clown. And he was a clown. Now he had a family act. He had a family act he could book. So now he was on, he was making money now. But it wasn't much money. It wasn't much money. Obviously, because we didn't stay long at any particular circus. But then we ended up on the Clyde Beatty Cole Brothers Circus, the second largest circus in America. And that show was on trucks. In other words, it wasn't a rail show, and it was a fantastic show. I mean, it was a big show, and Clyde Beatty was the owner or the co-owner, but he had a lion act, and he had a cage, and a pistol and a whip and a chair. And probably 12 big giant lions and tigers. And boy, I was fascinated. I thought, oh my God, what a man. What a fantastic human being. To be able to hypnotize those cats the way he did in that ring in the middle of the circus tent, people just went crazy. And me being about 10 years old, I went crazy too. And everybody had a job on this circus. The kids worked, everybody worked. Well, one day, we all had a big old cookhouse. One thing we did, we ate. They did feed us. Didn't pay us much money, but they fed us. And we had to get our own transportation across from spot to spot to spot. And so one day, they had a big old bell they rang, and it was a kid's job on the show, and we had a lot of kids on this show, that when the top was laid out, and they hooked the elephants up to the canvas to raise it, all the kids went out there and we laced up the tent, the sections of canvas. They was probably 20 feet wide, and they laced up like a shoe. You just laced them up. And all the kids get on there in about 20 minutes, the whole top was laid out, and each kid had their own row, and man, I'll tell you, but the good part about that is, though, if you laced it up, and you took your turns, you could, when we closed, we sloughed, what they call sloughed, you could ride the canvas down. Not all of us, but certain ones of us. Well, anyway, one day we're out there, and we're down in Texas. I remember we was down in Texas, and the dinger bell rang, ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, and boy, I was hungry. And I run right straight to that cookhouse. And I jumped in my chair. Now, this cookhouse had these old steel fold-up chairs. And I jumped in that chair, and I was probably 10 years old. And I grabbed the two ends of the chair, and that chair collapsed on me. And guess what happened? It cut my little finger off, whacked it right off. Oh, my God. Well, needless to say, and nobody cared. The blood was flowing. They wrapped it up. Didn't worry about it. Probably 10 days went by and it quit hurting. Never went to a doctor. Just the way it was. Couldn't put it back on. But they didn't care. Nobody cared. So anyway, that was the exciting part of the circus that we was on. Now, for some reason, it didn't work out with him over on the Clyde Beatty Cole Brothers Circus. So he had a proposition to go down to Sarasota, Florida. Now, the Ringling Brothers Circus was under the auditoriums now, and there was no canvas no more. So there was a lot of retired circus performers. It was the same situation as my stepfather. They didn't like the auditoriums. So they kind of retired down there. And it was a particular park, a trailer park, and connected to the trailer park was a nightclub. So he had a job working in the nightclub at the Papa Canestrelli's nightclub trailer park. And it was all circus performers. Now, we made it down there somehow. We got down there, and they gave us a trailer to live in. And the problem with this is we never made much money. They didn't pay any money, just a little bit of money. But I guess he got free rent, and we could go to the restaurant, which was a nightclub, and because it was Italians or Greeks, they love spaghetti. So every couple of days we could go over there behind the kitchen, and they'd give us a great big pot of spaghetti. Now, I got to tell you, folks, it was the best spaghetti I ever had in my life. Not because I was hungry, it was good. It was really good. So anyway, that didn't work out very long. I mean, obviously, he was a really hard guy to work. The problem with him was he had a serious problem. He drank, and he drank wine. He was 100% Italian. And when he drank wine, he got mean. And when he got mean, he beat on me. Didn't beat on my sister. Him and my mother had their fights, yeah. But he used to come in and whip on me in the middle of the night. I would wake up with black eye, bloody nose, split lip, and I was like 10, 11 years old now. So he finally either got fired or quit, but there was a piece of property for sale south of town, and it was a lot, one lot, in the middle of the swamps. And it wasn't very big. It was 50 foot wide and 150 feet long. The price was $800. Can you imagine in 1956 a piece of property? No road, just a piece of land, no well, no electric, no nothing. Just a piece of ground, one lot. Well, he bought it. How he bought it, I don't know, but he bought it. So we moved out there, lived in a tent. And then he went and somehow he got a job working in a sign company. And in the meantime, I'm growing up. I'm getting a little bit bigger now. And I'm getting a little bit bigger now. And I'm starting to get muscly. I'm starting to work out, you know, we're in the middle of swamps and we got to cut the road to get back to our property. We had to cut trees. And I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're in Florida now, and I'm barefooted and shirtless, and I thought I was Tarzan because I lived out in the swamps. And one day, he woke me up in the middle of the night and started beating on me. And I said, this is it. I think I was 13 then. And I said, you know what? This ain't going to happen to me no more. So I got up and I started beating on him. And all the hatred come out that I had for the last several years of him beating on me. And I hit him and I beat him. And I almost killed him. I beat him. I couldn't stop. Now I had to run. I got out and I ran into the swamps with the alligators, the wild hogs. But I ran into the swamps. I am a bad boy. So what did he do? He called the sheriff. Now back then, they had dogs down here in Florida. They sent the dogs out. They sent the sheriff out. And they come drag me out of the swamps because I'm a bad boy. I beat up my stepfather. Now, they took me and put me in the jail. I'm in Sarasota jail. And I am 13 years old. And they put me in there and threw me in there. What an experience. And that's how I got to Florida. Now folks, this is old Tumbleweed. We'll make this video short. But the next story you're going to hear is what happened to me in the jailhouse in Sarasota, Florida in 1958. And the brutality that was presented to me and how they treated me and how I got sent to Marianna, Florida. The great reform school that was bad. Well, folks, anyway, this is old Tumbleweed. I hope you enjoyed the little story right there.
Subscribe to your channel.
This is, I'm going to sign off now.
Subscribe to my channel.
And don't forget now, folks, you guys prescribe to my video and punch it in. And it's Donald Stratton. Just punch it in, and it'll come up, and I'll make a new one. See you later. Bye.